sexiest women in the world to, well, anything but. Victoria's Secret is on a mission to turn all of us off, and
all the ladies who are watching this video right now, and all the men out there, because I know there's not very many women watching this video, let me ask you a serious question. What kind of audience, what kind of consumer base do you think Victoria's Secret, for the most part, let's just say, gears their products towards? So I've done at least 2 videos on this particular topic. Of course, they are old videos where Victoria's Secret, for whatever reason, chose to go completely woke, hire Megan Rapinoe, and of course, she got fired, thank God. And of course, they decide to, let's just say, cater their entire line towards the every girl to be more inclusive. And of course, this also included a lot of things that, quite frankly, some of them weren't even really and truly girls. And as a result of this, Victoria's Secret, about a year or 2 ago, they decided to remove their CEO. I did a video on this a while back. So now they have decided to shift their focus away from that to sexiness. Now, the reason why I opened the video the way I opened the video is because obviously Victoria's Secret and all lingerie is something that is geared mostly towards women. Now, guys, this video right here, I'm going to be trying to give you guys a mutual perspective. And then, of course, I'm going to be trying to give you guys not only a mutual perspective to try to explain why things are the way they are, but also at the exact same time, I'm also going to be giving you a man's perspective, especially a straight man's perspective. So make sure you guys stick around for the full video. But there is one thing that I, quite frankly, do need to address right now. For whatever reason, I released 2 videos yesterday, and YouTube, for whatever reason, decided to remove the likes on them. I think I had like 4 likes on the first video within like the first hour, and the next thing you know, it became 7, and then out of the middle of nowhere, I had absolutely 0. So make sure you guys hit that like button. I've never really asked for these until the end of the video, and I'll probably ask again. It's something that YouTube does from time to time. But it, quite frankly, is censorship in a lot of ways, because they typically do this to smaller channels, and it's very, very hard for somebody to actually grow. It's part of the reason why it is. Next year, I'm expanding all the content into completely different channels, because I think I know the real reason why YouTube is doing it. But we'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. With that right there being said, let's go ahead and get on to this. Now, guys, I'm going to play this clip for you. It's Clay Travis. I'm not really that much of a fan of his, but of course, when you have somebody who's right, when they're right, they're right. Clay did this about 2 years ago. I'm going to play this, give some commentary, then come back and play the remainder of the Charlotte Arnott clip, because obviously you would want to obviously have a woman's perspective on this issue. So let's go ahead and roll this. I'll be back on the other side to kind of expand further on what exactly is going on. Let's go ahead and do this.
Victoria's Secret is changing their advertising and marketing campaign. Now, Victoria's Secret is getting crushed. Part of the issue is they have the malls and the stores in the malls, and they've been closed for a long time, and people have shifted their shopping online to a large extent. But if you remember Victoria's Secret historically, they have sort of marketed their campaign geared towards super sexy women, right? The Victoria's Secret catalog, the Victoria's Secret fashion show, supermodels wearing their lingerie has been the calling card of Victoria's Secret. And the marketing campaign is an interesting one. Do you want to sell sexiness to men and women, or do you want to sell average women, and I put average women in quotation marks, to women and sort of take back some of the sex appeal associated with Victoria's Secret? It's a big marketing campaign decision. What I would focus on is this.
That was 2 years ago when Victoria's Secret decided to do that. Now, what has Victoria's Secret done since then? Well, I'm showing you guys some B-roll footage of some of the video, some of the pictures that were taken after they decided to go woke. And of course, they decided to fire one of their former CEOs because she was the one who came up with the whole woke idea, the whole idea of including oversized women, all that type of stuff. Not trying to make fun of anyone who's obese or anything like that. But of course, some of these people that they actually included weren't even really, you got to be careful here on YouTube. But I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm saying, as I'm about to show you guys what Charlotte Arnott had to say on this, right, because she had a very good take on this. So what's the purpose behind women's lingerie, and what's the purpose behind gearing that product towards them? Obviously, women want to feel sexy. They want to look sexy. They want to feel empowered, even if in their femininity. And even in some cases, even if they may not have the perfect body or whatnot, it gives them something to strive for. It's one of the main reasons why it is that the Victoria's Secret Angels was such a very, very big deal. And obviously, as a man's perspective, I see a lady wearing this. I see my girlfriend or my wife or whatever, which, by the way, I'm single right now, but that's about it. But I've obviously been in relationships before and obviously been with the opposite sex. And I'll tell you right now, anytime that pops up, you see your girl in this, obviously it sends something to your system. It's obviously a rush of dopamine. It's obviously there to entice you sexually. That's the reason why it is that we men love it so much when you ladies are wearing lingerie and stuff. However, I understand that certain things, quite frankly, are almost completely unattainable, but still at the same time, lingerie obviously enhances a woman's femininity. However, that being said, when lingerie is on women who are body positive, which I'm using the body positive term because, quite frankly, they've gone out of their way to make everything body positive, which, quite frankly, is just another word for unattractive, and proud of it. Yes, I'm pretty sure you guys kind of understand where I'm going at with this, but at the same time, though, there's also the physical fitness and physical health aspect of this. And by the way, as I said before, lingerie automatically enhances a woman right off the bat. I understand some ladies are not going to like what I just said, but obviously I've had some ladies come in the comment section on the previous videos on when I talked about this topic and say they actually buy more for them anything that a man, any additional attention that a man gives them or any special looks or whatnot before the act of sex or whatever. It's just an automatic plus, but I'm going to let Charlie kind of explain it to you guys. I know I've called her Charlie a couple of times. It's kind of how I pronounce her name. But I'm going to let her explain it a little bit further to you guys. And then, of course, there's another person that, quite frankly, summed this up perfectly that we're going to get to here. But let's go ahead and roll this.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome into Outkick the Morning. I am your host, Charlie Arnold. And guys, listen, I've been spending the morning reminiscing about when Victoria's Secret used to be synonymous with sexy, when every single model was stacked with big boobs, tiny waists, perky bums, and gorgeous faces. For me, Adriana Lima and Alessandra Ambrosio were my personal favorites. And while certainly those body types were not attainable for many women, they still accomplished their job of making me and really all of my friends want to buy Victoria's Secret products. I was not offended by their beauty then, and certainly I am not offended by their beauty now. However, Victoria's Secret decided in 2018 that stereotypical beauty was no longer politically correct, and they axed their huge annual televised what they say. Go woke, go broke. Listen to these numbers. In May, Victoria's Secret came out with quarterly earnings of 28 cents per share, missing their estimate of 54 cents per share. That's not good. This compares to earnings of $1.11 per share a year ago. But Victoria's Secret is so obsessed with their progressive woke agenda that they are ignoring the numbers and ignoring their consumer base. It is not. It's not even lingerie focused anymore, with the brand's creative director saying, quote, "We haven't forgotten our past, but we are also speaking to the present." They claim this is what women want. But as a woman, let me tell you, this is not what we want. And I am pretty sure that men would also agree with me here because biological men in lingerie and obese models are not sexy. So listen to us, Victoria's Secret, and bring back the damn angels. There we go. Now, Deion Sanders is the talk of...
Here's the current stock of Victoria's Secret. It's down. It's down a lot. People actually lost money, okay? Don't you think that maybe it is possible that when you make women's lingerie, you need to gear it towards a certain type of woman who wants to look and feel very attractive, to express their femininity? I mean, don't you think that that might be the whole point here? Don't you think that that right there might be the reason why it is that going completely woke was a bad idea? Of course, it's how Victoria's Secret got themselves in this hole. Their main support base, their main base of buyers are women who are buying lingerie. So that way it will actually enhance their femininity, help them enhance their femininity. Women who obviously want to have some playtime with their husbands and some playtime with their boyfriends who buy the lingerie because it would actually be a little bit more fun if, say, I walk into the room and I see you in a nice G-string or thong rather than granny panties, that sort of thing there, okay? That's the main reason why it is that happens. Of course, and I can already hear ladies saying that's not the main reason why they buy lingerie. But still, at the exact same time, I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean by this. They obviously want this product so that way it will enhance their overall femininity. It'll actually make them feel like a natural woman, make them feel like a bit of a goddess, even though the body may be a little bit harder to attain. Some of these models, quite frankly, are airbrushed, and some of these models at the exact same time have to go through full-on weight cuts damn near MMA style, where they literally eat ice for like 2 weeks and gets out of a sauna for a while. By the way, sweating up the skin a little bit also helps kind of enhance things as well. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the video, but I'm pretty sure you guys are kind of picking up on what I'm saying. Using these morbidly obese and using these women that, quite frankly, are very, very butch or Bryan Adams impersonators, which is exactly what I call Megan Rapinoe, was not exactly a good line to try to market themselves to. Doing their fashion shows with disabled women, and I'm not trying to discriminate against anybody who's in a wheelchair or anybody who's walking around with one leg or anything like that, but you have women walking across on the catwalk who are not, say, thick, but overweight. You'll hear me talk about this again in the video. If a girl has got a little bit of thickness, that's not really a problem. Like she's thick, where she's put together. She's not some skinny little rail, you know what I'm saying? I know I sound like the black guy who likes the girl with a very, very big ass, but the thing is this right here. There are multiple different levels of thickness. However, what Victoria's Secret was showing, and they were actually displaying and showcasing, wasn't what we would call thick. It's not exactly what we would call voluptuous. It was something else altogether. Some ladies, I understand it, can't have got to work extra harder, obviously, to get their bodies right. We'll talk more about that towards the end of the video, because there was another girl who responded to this, a very, very attractive one. We're going to go ahead and say it right now, who kind of had an understanding of exactly what this entire thing was. Look, you're not being inclusive by bringing in a bunch of people that, quite frankly, is not going to help your marketing team out. At the end of the day, it should be about only one color, and that right there is green. And obviously, you need to market this towards women who would more than likely buy your product, that actually want to look and feel sexy. I'm going to say this again towards the end of the video. The vast majority of the people who were calling for Victoria's Secret to change their entire line of clothing, their entire line of lingerie, were actually people that don't physically go to the store, or people who don't try to look attractive at all. It's the vast majority of the woke college students who paint their hair green and have very, very bad teeth. And of course, they claim to be, let's just say, one of the multiple versions of that you guys know about by now. And of course, these people, for the most part, they don't really and truly go out in public outside of college, okay? And they don't really have jobs also to go along with this. And the jobs that they do have, it's not like they can actually afford the product that they're actually talking about. We'll be talking more about this in the third video I have, because I'll be mentioning the second video a lot. But the fact of the matter is that these people were being controlled. That right there being Victoria's Secret. They were being controlled by the opinions, the online opinions of a bunch of people who don't even have jobs, nor would they even buy the product to begin with. Charlie, she summed it up a lot better than I could have summed it up. But still at the same time, though, ladies, I really and truly have no idea why it is that the Victoria's Secret would go out of their way to gear their product towards women who are obese, and, of course, women that don't even look like women. I mean, I didn't understand it then. I don't understand it to this day. I'm glad to see the Victoria's Secret has obviously decided to change their minds on this and actually do what it is that they actually want to do. But apparently not every store in the country actually went along with this. Now, I'm going to kind of harken back to something that Clay Travis said, and I'll be saying it again. I understand the whole online thing, that online shopping has kind of changed the game, but still at the same time, though, the only people who would more than likely want to actually buy these products are women who, quite frankly, want to look and feel sexy, not only for themselves, but also for their boyfriends and their husbands. I don't know if I said this already or not, but if my girl's wearing Victoria's Secret, I'm probably going to be a little bit more into her. It's the sexiness aspect. It's something that couples do, something that the wokes, quite frankly, don't believe in, because, quite frankly, the wokes, are, for the most part, are just, I need to kind of keep my mouth closed on this one, but I'm pretty sure we all know the truth about the wokes. They're all gay. Not only are the wokes gay, but they typically tend not to have a job. Let me go ahead and throw this out here. The vast majority of the online backlash is, in fact, online backlash. You see, the online wokes, they demanded that the product be changed so that way they could cater everything to their own worldview. We're going to be talking about this a little bit more in the Starbucks video that I have released, the second video of the day. I'm doing these videos instead of the other video that I wanted to do on the whole Israel situation, because I want to let a little bit more information come out. I'm still gathering some before I release a relatively long topic on what's something on on that particular issue. And then not to mention, there's also the big one that comes out on Saturday about this whole crossfire hurricane situation between Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Jason Whitlock, and now Liz Wheeler somehow. But still, at the exact same time, this topic right here I think is very important because I think it tells us something about the woke. You see, Victoria's Secret does not seem to understand that the vast majority of the online base, which is something I talked about earlier with online shopping, I touched on it very, very briefly, they're not physically going to the store. Well, the vast majority of the wokes out there are strictly online. Seriously, they're strictly online. They don't go to stores or anything like that. Occasionally, they'll come outside the house. They're obviously get hurt by sunlight. It's almost like they're vampires. If sunlight even hits them, it's almost like they're outraged. And I understand that a lot of people are going to say, well, it was actually the George Floyd situation that did this. Yeah, the George Floyd situation, I think, may have actually just simply triggered what was already coming. The vast majority of these wokes don't even have money or jobs, so therefore they can't actually buy the product, purchase it, or even wear it. And as I mentioned before, the vast majority of them aren't even attracted to the opposite sex. The thing is this right here. They wanted the product cater to their own worldview to see what kind of power they had, and they wanted things changed because they obviously didn't like anything that was attractive. I mean, there are actual studies out there that show that conservative women typically tend to be more attractive than liberal women. There's also other studies that show that conservative men typically tend to be more attractive than those that are on the left. Now, I'm not saying that to stereotype an entire group, but of course, if you've got like 8 to 10 different studies, scientific ones that kind of show this, then, well, I guess there's some smoke to go along with the fire. The thing is this right here, or maybe there's some fire to go on smoke. I don't know. My language is all off today. But still, at the same time, you gear this type of product towards women who want to feel and look sexy. That's the reason why you do it. And I understand that not every single woman can achieve exactly what it is that the Victoria's Secret angels did with their bodies. But I'm going to let this girl right here kind of explain it to you because she hit it actually on the head. I'm going to come back on the other side and kind of explain what she means by this in case
people who sit there and still defend these woke brands and say things like, oh, but it is all about the inclusivity. Oh, but they were listening to us. Yay for them. Ma'am, your feelings. Because that's all this is about, is your stupid feelings. And is it actually truly inclusive if you completely disregard the original individuals or group of individuals that were a part of that brand to begin with? Take Victoria's Secret, for example. The Victoria's Secret fashion show or their tour or whatever BS this is going to be is coming about this coming week. So obviously this is like a hot topic at this point. I've currently done 2 videos on this. But if you look back at their brand over the past couple of years, they completely stripped Victoria's Secret of the angels, which is what they were known for decades, literally 2 decades prior to that, 3 decades prior to that. They completely stripped VS from these angels who were the epitome of what humans are never able to achieve. Like, these angels aren't even able to look like angels themselves. You know that so many of the models have actually done interviews on this, they would stand next to their own billboard and people who actually knew them in real life would be like, that's not you. Like, they wouldn't even recognize them because people knew that these Victoria's Secret angels could not even live up to what they look like. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is okay to strive to achieve a certain image, knowing that it's not possible. It's okay to do that. But instead of just becoming inclusive and adding additional body shapes and races and gender, instead of just adding these to the mix, they decided to completely take away the angels from the group and say that it wasn't inclusive to have those fit individuals in there. No, you're not able to do that. They just wanted to replace them with people who were everyday average Joes. I'm sorry, but I don't know about you, but I don't want to see people who are everyday people walking the runway in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. There are already brands that are like that out there, okay? Go to Giddy, right? Go to Fenty. I don't know. It's not Fenty Beauty. It's whatever Rihanna's brand is. Go to like Macy's if you want to see that. Go to JCPenney if you want to see that. Victoria's Secret, I want to see some bitches that are looking good in that lingerie.
What he's trying to say is that the goals sometimes can be unattainable. It's not realistic for a lot of these women to hit this, but let me go ahead and tell you something right now. The most beautiful women in the world never look, or the most beautiful women that you run into on a day-to-day basis are never going to look like a Victoria's Secret angel. Sure, she'll have a great body, she'll have a great figure, all this type of stuff. This is stuff that men, quite frankly, look for. But one of the reasons why we look for that is obviously because we want to make sure our children are going to come out okay. Does she have good genes? Is she actually healthy? If she's obese or whatnot, that there typically tends to signal the possibility that maybe she's not healthy. Same thing with men too. I'm pretty sure that a lot of women look for that in men as well. Of course, you do have some women out there who are chubby chasers, and you do have some men out there who are chubby chasers too. But the area of attractiveness that Victoria's Secret was gearing their marketing team towards was not exactly what we call the types that would fit that mold. It's not exactly like you have a girl who's kind of thick, who might be like 5'3", 5'4", and weighs 145 pounds, and she's got a relatively good sized bottom, but of course sometimes that can actually be very, very attractive. It's called thick. But if she's 5'4", she weighs 220 pounds, chances are she's no longer thick, she's just good old fashioned fat. It's the same thing with a man who may be 5'8" and weighs 300 pounds. Do you expect that man to be built and burly and all muscled up like a bodybuilder? Which, by the way, I found out a long time ago that women aren't exactly into bodybuilders, and that's another topic altogether. But still, at the same time, you want to make sure your partner has got some good genes. You want to make sure that they're actually healthy. We'll expand more on this a little bit later on in the video that I have planned on Friday to go along with the Israel video. But the thing is this right here. Victoria's Secret obviously needed to gear their line towards women who, quite frankly, want to look and feel attractive. Yeah, I think it's, I understand that women have a lot of things that go on subconsciously that kind of holds them back. And I understand that a lot of ladies have confidence issues, but at the same time, though, it provides a goal for women to strive to. It's sometimes, for the most part, actually for the most part, it's really and truly about health. Even if it's not about I'd say, even if it's not about enhancing your femininity, which, by the way, when you're healthy, it actually does. The fact of the matter is that it is an actual goal for ladies to achieve. I understand this was not a popular take, but I still wanted to make this take anyways, even though I realized I could possibly lose some viewership and some subscribers over it. But the thing is this right here, as I've said before, it's about enhancing a lady's femininity, and then to go on top of this, when you're suddenly controlled by an online base of people that doesn't even physically go to the store or is even attractive, because we've seen these people who go to these woke marches, you gotta wonder exactly what these people were thinking. They should have stuck with the whole product. They should have stuck with the whole, let's just say they should have stuck with their original goal, which was trying to sell a form of sexiness rather than trying to sell to the every person. With that right there being said, guys, I want to give you guys one last quick thing before I shut down. I talked earlier about YouTube taking away likes. Make sure you guys hit the like button for that very, very reason. It's not just because I want the video to take off, which, by the way, I do want the videos to take off, because obviously when you're on YouTube, you will want that to happen. You want people to see your content. But the thing is, this right here, this censorship is getting completely out of control. Every now and again, what YouTube will do is they'll find a smaller YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure they do it to bigger YouTube channels as well. They will go through there and they will suddenly remove people's likes from time to time. Obviously, if it's a certain video that YouTube does not like or advertisers may not like, but still at the same time, after all the videos that I've done on the whole Israel-Gaza situation, YouTube found a way to ad limit most of my videos. When you get the yellow dollar sign, that means they limit your ads and therefore you're not getting paid by it. Now, guys, I don't have a Patreon account, nor am I ever going to set up a Patreon account. This channel right here is strictly viewer funded. Okay, that is exactly what it is. It's just strictly viewer funded. It's part of the reason why I've chosen to bring anything that could be political over this channel right here, because the other channels are the ones I've created. They'll be set to go next year. They're the ones that are designed for more fun type content. But still at the same time, though, this is kind of what they do. So make sure you guys do hit that like button. Also, one more thing too, make sure you guys share the video for the algorithm as well. And please leave a comment in the comment section. And I already know I probably upset some people in the audience with this, but still, please leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to get you guys' thoughts on this. And I'll see you guys later.